Hello, my name is Mercury, and welcome to this brand new episode of Media Buffet. Today, I'm alone. Today, I'll be discussing Beetlejuice, the 1988 movie that started the Beetlejuice franchise that we have now. Kind of. Well, not the franchise. It really isn't a franchise. It's the movie. It's the it's the movie. Why we got the sequel. I'm not sure. I don't think it's a franchise. Maybe it is. Maybe we have like a fucking Beetlejuice animated series I don't know of. Just Beetlejuice film series. There we go. But the Beetlejuice film series, with exactly two movies, that released, how many years? 36 years apart from each other. 36 years. Yes. This Let me see. I mean, it says Beetlejuice franchise, but just the Beetlejuice film series in general, I guess. And there is a Beetlejuice animated series. Here, right on the nail. It's They got Danny Elfman, really? Oh no, it's just that from the store. Okay, whatever. Jesus. But yeah, there was an animated series. I didn't know that. I was just joking about that. But anyways, yeah, it spawned the film series, and it released a long time ago. And that's one of the things like about like movies right now. Um, it's a bunch of sequels. And recently, I know Glider 2 came out, and I have not watched it because I haven't watched the first one yet. Ugh. But Gladiator 2 was a movie sequel. It was a sequel to the original Gladiator from 2000. I thought it was earlier. Yeah, but it was from 2000. And I I think that a lot of movies are either adaptations, sequels, or reboots right about now. And Beetlejuice, the second movie is no exception. Beetlejuice was left alone for a very long time, but it's not like they didn't want to do Beetlejuice a sequel. It's not like they didn't want to. It's just that it took an agonizing amount of time. Hold on, I'll find it sometime. I can't. Let's see here. No. So let me check production. It's like somewhere here. So yeah, no, like they've been trying to do a sequel to Beetlejuice for a very long time. So it's not like I mean, kind of. It's a cash grab. Beetlejuice is a cash grab. But it's not like they haven't tried to do it. They tried to do a third one. But like Burton did Batman, then he did Batman Returns. That sort of complicated things. And it seems like a lot of the stuff from those sequels, from those proposed sequels back in the 90s, um, it seems like what would have happened is that what happened was that they took some of those ideas and put them into Beetlejuice. There were two Beetlejuice sequel scripts, and one of them was Beetlejuice in Love. It was Beetlejuice in Love, and apparently another one called Beetlejuice Goes to Hawaiian, which okay. Nothing okay. Yeah, they were going a lot of ideas, it seems, but then they just decided on making it Beetlejuice. So that's fine. Oh, April 2019, Warner Bros. Stated the sequel had been shelved. Interesting. And then 3 years later, they went back on that. Yeah, no, like it's been like, to the credit of like the the sequel. It's a sequel that they've been wanting to make for a really long time. It's not like it's not entirely a cash grab. It's they've been trying to make a Beetlejuice sequel for a very long time. But let's talk about the first movie. So the first movie is considered a cult classic. It's one of I'm not sure if it's one of the best uh, movies of the 80s. There's a lot of movies in the fucking 80s. But it definitely won a lot of awards. It's, again, a classic. And it was left undisturbed for a very long time, but now we have a sequel. But we talked about the sequel. It's one of our most viewed episodes. So, go check that out if you want to. And now we're talking about the official original movie, which again released 1988, which is one of the oldest things. It's part of our retro episode line. This episode is part of our retro episode line. We talk about old stuff from before the 21st century, which that might upset that might make people feel a bit upset, and I do get it. And you want to know why I do get it? It's because I think most of our audience is between like 20 and 30, if I'm not mistaken. Our audience, our audience is between that time that oh shit, I know it doesn't go here right now. Okay, analytics audience. Let's see here. So okay, that makes sense. I guess that most of our people are from. That most people listen to us on the mobile phones. I don't care about statistics. Where's age? There's no age and gender. Oh, there's not enough demographic. There's not enough, but I'm pretty no. There was on Spotify for creators or Anchor. I'm pretty sure that's where That's where I got most of my analytics. Fuck. Most of my analytics from. So I'll just check real quick. I don't know if I think you guys can hear the fucking chair. I don't know why I'm moving. I need a new chair. Fucking chair side aside. I gotta check this out. Anyways, some more Beetlejuice. I watched it before the second movie came out. Fucking obviously, right? But like I watched like a day or two before. Maybe like the day on? I'm not sure. I don't remember. But but what is it? Fucking hell. But yeah, I rewatched it for this episode, and I found and I know that I should probably put it at the end, but when I watched it, I found myself liking it more than when I did the first time around. Maybe it's because I kind of understood it more. But yeah, going back to the analytics real quick, it's something funny I found. Fucking on Spotify. Right, on like Spotify for on Anchor. It says the analytics are that my audience is 100. Like our Media Face audience is 100% male. Okay, I mean, I guess we have not had an actual like woman on the podcast before. I don't think so. Yeah, like it's been exclusively male. Hopefully that changes. But going back to what I was saying, the age. So at least on Spotify, I'm not sure on YouTube. The YouTube, I always have problem with the word statistics. I don't know if the statistics on YouTube aren't up yet. I'm pretty sure I thought they were, but they aren't. That might be on like phone or something. I'm not fucking sure, but it says on Spotify at least 60% of my audience is between the ages of 35 and 44, and 40% are between the age of 23 and 27. So some of these guys are probably at least maybe like 35%. I don't even know if it's 35. At least maybe 40% of my audience was born of the audience was born in the 21st century. I'm not sure. At least those between the age of 23 and 25. And most of my audience was born in the 80s when this movie came out. Actually, no, some of them. If you're 35, you're born maybe like 1989, 1990. So you're probably a 90s kid. Still, am I fucking saying, oh yeah, all this shit you grew up with, yeah, like in the 90s, yeah, that's retro. You're fucking old. But yeah, no. Whoops. At least to my Spotify audience. Yeah, you guys were born in the 80s. That's fucking wild. You're either older or like a year or two younger than this movie. That's 60% of my audience. God damn. And I'm saying, oh yeah, welcome to this retro episode. I was like, oh. But yeah, most of my audience was born either like, in the 90s or not even in the 90s because this fucking says 0%. But yeah. Anyways, let's get to the actual review. I know fucking 12. This does not feel like 12 minutes. Fucking hell. 12 minutes. So let's just get into it. Yeah, let's just get into it. So first up, what we always start off with is the CGI. What is the CGI? But here is about the effects because there's a lot of stuff here. There is no action in this movie, like not any real action. But I want to talk about the effects. The CGI is 80s, 80s CGI. Like it's not gonna be the best thing ever, but it's serviceable. It's like it's good for its time, and it's not awful. It's not like it's not. I can't really say like it's bad. Like no, I can't say it. Like it's good for the 80s. Like yeah, it's not it. I'm not expecting fucking Marvel level CGI. I mean, for fucking Marvel level, like Phase 3 level CGI, Marvel MCU Phase 3. But like I expect like lesser, like a lesser quality from just like again like talking about these retro episodes. I do expect a lesser quality, but like so I brace myself, but I know that it's not gonna be as good as it is now. But I still gotta commend it for being good back then, and it is good. This was pretty good back then. This movie had I always bring a fucking budget. This movie had a budget of 15 million, which inflation calculator. Let's see. That's not a lot. It's not a lot. Probably now. Actually, I need to. Fuck. 1988. Let's see here. 40 million. That's what I was. That's what it's worth. In today's money. That's not awful. That's like. Yeah, that's like obviously it still costs 15 million, but like I guess how much would it cost now? But yeah, like a $15 million budget isn't horrible, and it make back what is equivalent today to what the fuck? I don't know what I'm doing. Just copy paste. $84. Okay, 600. They made back quite a lot of money for its budget. They made back quite a lot. So yeah, I think I don't know. I think it made back a lot of its money definitely, and I don't fuck. What was going? Oh yeah, but I'm fucking stupid. But the effects for 15 million, the effects here, at least for the time, are really good. It's it definitely wasn't. It was not low budget. There's a lot of stuff in this movie. Like there is a lot of stuff in this movie that that is like it's very effect heavy, very practical effect and CGI heavy. So it wasn't the it wasn't the most like it wasn't like a low budget movie like for example like our last review our last retro review Mad Max. It definitely wasn't like as low budget as that, but it was very heavy on that, but it's still like it was still quite a low budget, not a low, okay, it was still a pretty well sized budget and still kind of low in today's standards for what the movie for what the movie like had. And you know like they made most of they probably made use of most of that money. And again, the CGI here and the effects are great. But it's sometimes the CGI in some areas it's not the biggest use. The biggest use, the biggest effects in this movie are the practical effects with the sandworms. I think that's what they call it, sandworms, and like everyone was like dead and stuff, and having them you know how they look, and not even that like sometimes there's different styles of practical effects. I'm pretty sure there's like a few that are stop motion maybe if I'm remembering correctly. They made like they had that like that model in the Maitland's house. They made that's the model, and in real life like as a set. And yeah, no, I think it's really impressive. Like it's really impressive what they managed to do with a budget as low as this, and how creative they managed to do with it. What they managed to be with it, and the entirety of the afterlife sequence, like it, like everybody there is like that's like a very everybody there has like different levels of makeup and to make them seem like how they died in real in like in the in like the, in life, and it looks insane. It's like god damn, that's all real. And there's like even like little bits of it, like the the football team having like a lot of like plain bits on them. Like the woman who like receives the Maitlands. She smokes, but like you can see the like a cut in her neck where that's where the smoke comes out of. It's insane. They managed to do a lot with the effects and with such a low budget, and even like again Beetlejuice's entire makeup, all the effects he does, the snake bit. Like there's a lot in this movie. There really is. So and I gotta commend them for that. It's really good. So now let's talk about the characters. Here I have Adam and Barbara separate, but I'm gonna talk about them as one because they're mostly just one character with the same goals. I think they're a good introduction to the whole world of the afterlife, and it's very interesting to see to have like our like a point of view like that and have that as our main characters, not like the I mean Lydia is one of our main characters, but like I like the primary characters, have them be the ghosts and have it be much more of a comedy than an actual Have you like get more of a comedy than like a horror movie? I think that's good. That's a good thing, and obviously they let us peer into all of that. We don't see like the thing that like I guess like puts a bit of the mainlands aside. I think is that they don't have like an injury like the other ghosts or anything. They don't have any injuries or anything like that. So we don't. They're very separate, but I guess that's fine because because they're our main characters. They can't. I guess they can't look all that gruesome all the time, and especially like how we see, especially since we see them a lot in the movie, it would make sense as to why we don't get them like completely covered in makeup to have their to show like their how they died. I understand like they had a $15 million budget. It allowed for a lot, but the Maidlands are on screen for a lot of the movie, so having them like having them be like that is weird. That's gonna be weird. Like for the entire movie, and it would have cost the budget a lot. So I get it. I definitely get it. But them as characters, I think they're good enough protagonists. They have good goals. They learn to live with their with like the new inhabitants and all that. I think it's pretty good. It's obviously like a shame. Is it more for the sequel? But it's obviously a shame in the sequel that they're not there. But I guess there would have been too many cards at play, especially how this movie ended. There would have been too much things at the there would have been too many cards on the deck. So I guess having them sort of leave was the best like for writing, but then it kind of left a hole because in this movie it ends with them living in peace with their with the Deets, and they never want to leave the house like that. They were very protective of the house. So I don't know. It was weird for the sequel to sort of just leave them behind, and at least they mentioned them or something. Like at least they mentioned them in the sequel. But yeah, they were a big part of here. I think their characterization is good if it fits them, and I like how them as characters. Obviously, they're just new as they started as ghosts. They just started as ghosts, so they don't know how to really they don't know how to really be ghosts. They don't know how to scare people or anything like that. So I like that it's a big part of the movie that they just started being ghosts, and I like how that's played around a lot, and obviously for comedic effect. But yeah, this is considered a horror dark fantasy comedy horror. I don't know. Comedy horror isn't like horror comedy. It isn't a. It's like it's a polar opposite. It's the polar opposites, and it's hard to get. I feel like this movie isn't really uh uh um what is it oh that is entirely in fucking silence. Okay, wait. But yeah, like a horror comedy is a bit of a weird thing. It's like, nobody really. Sometimes you don't get it right, and if you don't get it right, it's like a very tonal whiplash. But I think this movie did it well, but I wouldn't really consider it horror. It's more like a comedy movie that has like it uses horror as its stage and horror elements as its stage. It's not a it's not a duo. It's more like, well, what if we just kind of point out the silliness of having of a horror movie? Like it's more of a parody of a horror movie than an actual horror movie, but it is still a comedy. And I guess that's what the scary movie does in a way. But anyways, I'm not sure if Scary Movie has been good in a very long time. But yeah, the Maidlands are good protagonists for us. Next up is Lydia Dietz. I think Lydia is interesting. Is an interesting character. She can see the ghost, and she's not really scared of them. Nobody's fucking scared of the ghost, but she doesn't. Uh. Like, but she's interesting, and I like her character here. Obviously, it was her. She was, I guess, like the first like real goth and all that, so she had that sort of aesthetic to her. So yeah, he's one of the more popular goth characters. So yeah, I do see it here. I think it's I think it's a bit over the top to what she does, like trying to kill herself and all that, and wanting to be dead. That's something that's not really explored, but I like how she has a sort of like not obsession, but definitely interest in the dead, and that really does lead to what we see here. I feel like her character is pretty good, and wanting to help the ghost and wanting to preserve the house. I think Lydia does work here as a character. She's obviously a child, so. Like in here, Winona Ryder was a child, so it's not gonna be the best performance ever, or all that. But I think she does give a pretty good performance as her character, so I really do enjoy it. Charles Dietz is, I guess, the least interesting. He's just like, I guess, a business, not really a businessman, but he's just kind of there. He's a fine character. I guess he does a job of being like the dad, and I feel like, and I like how all the Dietzes have their have like different opinions of what they want to do with the house, where Charles wants to keep it as like as preserved as possible, and Delia, which we're getting to later, later when we get to when we'll get into later, she wants to like remodel the house and make it and make it newer, and Lydia wants to help the ghost get the people out. That's I like how they have different goals here, and Charles still has that, but that's not really part of the movie a lot. But I think that's fine, since he definitely does see, since he's a lot more interested in like the potential that the ghosts have as like, I guess, marketing tools and all that. So yeah, but I think his character is fine, but yeah, he's not in the movie a lot. Now that I mentioned Delia Dietz, let's talk about Delia Dietz. So Delia Dietz, I think, is one of the, I guess she's an annoying character, but I think that's what she's meant to be. Obviously, sculptor. Really likes her sculptures. Lydia's stepmom, I think she is, and yeah, no, I think she does her job well as the character she's meant to be. Then she's not in the movie a lot, but she is sort of a bigger driving force than Charles, I think. she's a lot more memorable than Charles. I will say. I feel like some of the things she does in the movie are pretty funny. Some of the hijinks she gets into. So yeah, I do enjoy these characters. Next up is it's Otho, and not only that he's a big character and all that, but I think Otho is, you know, a pretty funny character. I like how he portrays it. I like his voice. I like how, like, I guess uh how clean he is, but obviously at the end we see him like be like get scared and all that. So yeah, I think Otto's a pretty fun character. Like what they do with him in the story is pretty good, and like the comedy they do with him is pretty good. But aside from that, like there's not much to him. There's not much to him. And finally, Beetlejuice himself. So Beetlejuice is, I think, really funny. Michael Keaton does a really good job with the character. He's not in the movie a lot. He's not the protagonist or anything. Um. Uh. What is it? He's not. He's not in the movie. He's not not the protagonist. But I think that's fine. I again, the Maitlands are the protagonist, and Beetlejuice is just there. And I feel like Beetlejuice is mostly not in the movie because, again, like he would have been very taxing on like the budget, having all that makeup and all that, and like especially what they do with the character, and all the effects and all that. Like it would have taken a lot, but I like what we got here with Michael Keaton. I feel like it's a lot of fun. So yeah, I uh, so yeah, I like Beetlejuice a lot. In this, he's again very funny, very foul mouthed. They actually drop a fuck in here, and that's really surprising. I'm not. Is this movie PPG? It's not R. I know that. I think the original is PG-13. Like the second one's PG-13. No, not the first one. This is the bad part about fucking about the first the second one being called Beetlejuice, because you get the results for both. It's not Beetlejuice 2, which I think it's a creative title that we have here. It's a creative title that they made, but it's a bit confusing when we get to actually when we get to like actually trying to look them up. But yeah, Beetlejuice is actually a PG, and they dropped an F bomb that they had to censor in the that they censored. Uh, Fuck. Oh no! My computer is so slow. What happened to you? Close. See, never have like fucking 15 billion tabs open. It'll only it'll only make your life harder. But yeah, Beetlejuice is PG, and they dropped the fuck. Like again, they had to fucking they did the same thing in the sequel, and they censored that one. Don't ask me why. That's so weird. But yeah, Beetlejuice is a really enjoyable character, a really fun antagonist. His entire plot is really, he's meant to be wacky and all that, and I do really get that from the character. But yeah, let's talk about the plot now. So the plot in this movie, like, is I think it's well paced, it's well made. When I first watched this movie, it felt like a bullet train. It went scene to scene to scene to scene, but it was always memorable. Like that's a lot of things in these older movies, that it has like a pretty fast pace, but every scene is very enjoyable, very memorable. It's not there's a few forgettable scenes here and there. I will say. Um, what fucking are being stupid. Yeah, it won't be like a bullet train, but it's always like a bunch of memorable scenes. And the memorable scenes here are very funny. This is the recurring like, I think it's a Jamaican song that's around like around the movie and all that. We see that it's a. Uh, we see that that song like, around the movie like Maitland really likes that type of music, and we see it like played out. We see it like played out in the movie, and at least and it leads to like the dance towards the end, where the maidens are pranking them and all that. That's a really fun scene. And at the end where it's like Lydia dancing to it, like it's a song it's a pretty big part of the movie. Was referenced in the sequel and all that. So yeah, I do. I do think that like there's a lot of fun moments in here that really make the movie that make the movie memorable. There's a few things that go kind of nowhere in the plot. But that's fine, I guess. It's a lot more enjoyable. I found it a lot more enjoyable second time around. Obviously, I think the comedy side of it is very well made because it's kind of like what actually would happen in like real life with ghosts, where they would find ghosts. Oh, ghosts are real. Okay, let's make money out of them. Like haunted houses are a thing. Yeah, like attractions, obviously. So having that sort of happening here, I think that's really funny, and it leads to a lot of comedy. You know, and the world building here with the afterlife, even though we don't see it a lot in this movie, and it's spent a lot more in the sequel. I think that the world building here that they had is is interesting. At least a lot for us to fill in the gaps. Like I think it's really good. And they don't like it's not like nothing. It's unexplained. Again, jokes are really funny. There's a lot of really funny stuff here. And like I mentioned with the effects, like we see how every character here died. So yeah, like we see we see how everyone died here. So and like they're just showing up. So that's pretty good. That's like pretty good. But aside from that, like the plot is it's solid. It's again paced well, has a lot of funny moments, a lot of good like world building elements. It it does the job well. Like it's good. It's good. And honestly, just for that, this movie second time around, it was really good. Every character here I think is enjoyable, even the smaller ones. Like I said, even Otho, I think I found it really enjoyable. It's not the page I was looking for. Um, I enjoyed it more second time around. Best time watching this movie. Really fun. Really gave me a laugh. Michael Keaton's Beetlejuice is incredible. But that needs no introduction. I don't need to say that. So, in conclusion, if you haven't seen this movie, go watch it. It is an S tier from me. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Truly, Beetlejuice is the gross of the most. So yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. And what did you guys think about Beetlejuice? Leave in the comments below. All our socials and description. And since I heard it's a pretty good thing to do, if you liked this episode, follow us on Spotify. We're on Spotify, and if you're so inclined, that seems a bit too Reddit, corny. If you liked it as well, if you're watching this on YouTube and liked it as well, leave a like. If you want to, if you want to know when we upload, subscribe. You'll get notifications there, and also you'll get it if you follow us on Spotify. I don't like to do that sort of thing because I don't like to tell people to fucking subscribe, like, share. But if it helps of us gaining followers, why not, right? So yeah, aside from that, again, all our socials in the description, and that's about it. See ya.